It's not tech skills. 53% of Americans say they want to use AI to build income. But here's what nobody's telling the 25-year-olds that are flooding your niche. The thing that actually makes people buy from you, you can't learn it on YouTube. You have to live it. I dug into this because I kept seeing the same advice just recycled everywhere. Use AI for passive income. Start a faceless YouTube channel. Sell digital products. Let the robots do the work. And almost every single video saying that was made by someone in their 20s or early 30s who has no idea what it's actually like to be over 50, staring down retirement, wondering if you've saved enough, wondering if there's still time. So here's what I found when I pulled back the curtain on AI for passive income and who's actually making it work. There's one number that changes everything about how you should think about this. I'll get to it in a minute. But first, you need to understand why most of the advice out there was designed for the wrong person. If you're over 50 and looking into building an income online, you already know the whole thing feels kind of like it was built for somebody else. Young creators talk fast. They throw around jargon, assume you already know what a funnel is, what a prompt is, how to set up a Stripe account, and if you've tried any of this before, you know the feeling. You sign up for something, you watch an hour of training videos, you get halfway through the setup, and then something technical breaks. And there's nobody to call. A seniors focused YouTube guide I came across said it pretty simply. You don't need to become a tech wizard or build AI tools from scratch. That's true. But what nobody says next is the part that actually matters. The 25-year-old creator flooding your niche cannot fake decades of solving actual real problems. Lived experience, earned trust. Those are things you cannot manufacture with a trending audio clip or a well-designed thumbnail. They accumulate over time quietly, and they show up in the way you speak, the way you explain things, and the way people feel when they finish watching your video. Think about it. You've spent 20, 30, maybe 40 years in a career, raising a family, managing budgets, navigating hard conversations, learning what works and what doesn't the hard way. When you recommend something, people believe you, not because you have a fancy thumbnail, because you sound like someone who's been there. That's the difference between someone clicking your link and someone scrolling past it. A Forbes article listed AI side hustles with the potential to generate significant income in 2026. Those projections only hold up if people trust the person behind the recommendation. You can have the best AI generated ebook in the world. If the person selling it has zero credibility, nobody buys. And credibility is not something you can prompt ChatGPT to generate. You earn it year by year, conversation by conversation, problem solved by problem solved. That's your advantage. And it's massive. Now, here's where it gets interesting. The reason why most people over 50 never made this work before wasn't a lack of knowledge or credibility. It was because the tech got in the way. Setting up a website, writing sales emails, following up with leads, recording and editing videos, building landing pages. Every one of those steps used to require either technical skills or hiring someone expensive. AI changed that. And I mean recently. One guide specifically made for retirees framed it this way: start with leverage, not reinvention. You don't need to learn a brand new skill set. You don't need to become a content creator or a website developer. AI now handles the parts that used to stop people over 50 cold in their tracks: the tech setup, the sales conversations, the follow up. People in Reddit threads and YouTube comments say it all the time. AI helps them organize, draft, brainstorm, and clean up their writing. Tools like ChatGPT on a free account and Canva lower the barrier so far that the tech itself is no longer an obstacle. But here's the part most people miss. This is that number I mentioned earlier. When you keep 80 cents of every dollar that comes in, you don't need a big audience to make this work. Stop and sit with that for a second. Most online business models pay tiny commissions, 5%, 10%, maybe 20 if you're lucky. So you need hundreds or thousands of customers just to cover your bills. That's not passive anything. That's a second job. But when the math flips, when you're keeping the majority of every dollar, the game completely changes. You need just a handful of customers, not thousands, not hundreds, a handful. Suddenly, that credibility you've spent decades building becomes the most valuable asset you own. You don't need to go viral. You don't need 1 million followers. You need a small number of people who trust you enough to take a look at what you're recommending. And trust is the one thing you've been building your entire adult life without even realizing it was an asset. This is where the contrast gets really sharp. Real users and forums keep making the same complaint. The income from most AI side hustles isn't actually passive. Digital products and YouTube channels still require constant marketing, constant uploads, constant updates. And they're right. Maintaining a faceless YouTube channel means churning out content every week. Selling your own digital products means handling customer questions, processing refunds, and updating material whenever something changes. The hustle doesn't stop, it just wears a different outfit. And that's why the model matters more than the tool. AI is just a tool. What matters is the system around it. Whether that system keeps working when you step away from your desk, whether it follows up with people when you've moved on with your day, whether it answers questions at 2 a.m. when you're asleep. Because let's be honest, you're not looking to build another job. You're looking for consistent cash flow that doesn't require you to be chained to a screen 12 hours a day. You want to wake up in the morning with a blank slate and get to choose what you do, not what you have to do. And that's exactly why experience plus automation beats youth plus hustle every single time. The younger creator might post 3 times a day. They might know every trending audio on TikTok, but they can't sit across from someone, even metaphorically, and make that person feel genuinely understood. They can't draw on 30 years of navigating real life to explain why something actually works. They can't look someone in the eye and say, I've been where you are, and mean it. You can. So if you're over 50 and you've been feeling like you've missed the window, like this AI thing is for younger, more technical people, hear this clearly. You didn't miss anything. The window just opened, and it opened specifically for you. Because for the first time, the technology caught up to what you already bring to the table. By the way, if you want to see what it looks like when 80% of every dollar comes back to you, and a done for you system that handles the selling while you step away, go to julieungeronline.com or click the link in the description.